E ciao a tutti ragazzi, io sono Luca B e questo è il mio canale su Twitch dove sto registrando le puntate di Gamefiction, ovvero giochi ruolati, o meglio giocati in modo gioco di ruolo, quindi recitati, e stiamo parlando ovviamente di Starfield. Se avete assistito alla puntata di ieri, ovviamente parlo per gli amici di Twitch in diretta, perché poi quelli che lo vedranno poi con calma tutto il pacchetto su YouTube, ovviamente sarà la puntata precedente. Dicevo, quelli di Twitch che hanno seguito la puntata avete visto insomma quanto è stato bricconcello Blue Scorpion, io non me lo sarei mai aspettato, che in pratica per conquistare Andreja ha mollato Sara così su due piedi dopo averla insomma sposata, ha promesso amore eterno eccetera. Vabbè, in ogni caso sta provando a fare la stessa cosa con Andreja, ma Andreja vorrebbe diciamo celebrare questa loro unione non proprio al modo della casa Varun, che è la sua origine, ma diciamo in un modo che possa essere compatibile con il suo modo, però insomma con il resto degli umani, anzi degli altri pianeti colonizzati. Quindi non so questo ovviamente quando succederà. Intanto Blue Scorpion oggi insomma, insieme alla sua crew andranno in giro a completare qualche attività, c'è qualche pianeta che dobbiamo completare la ricerca e poi quel che succede succede. Quindi se siete pronti salite a bordo perché si parte. Ok, allora perché stavamo facendo questa qui? Vediamo, la nostra missione parla con Joyce. Perfetto, quindi atterriamo su Titano innanzitutto, che li abbiamo già scannerizzato ovviamente, poi dovremo andare a vedere un po' che cosa c'è di buono. Eccoci qua, allora parla con Joyce e Joyce sembra che si trova proprio qui.
I can understand wanting to honor or even celebrate history, but this may take it too far.
Io onestamente non so a cosa ti stai riferendo, Andreja, ma spero che prima o poi lo scoprirò. Allora, innanzitutto per quanto riguarda il mio zainetto, abbiamo qualcosa da vendere. Le risorse ovviamente dovremmo portarle alla loggia. Qua non c'ho qualcosa da vendere. Sensore di cheoni. Ah, questo è perché è la missione che dobbiamo andare a fare. Va bene, e allora a questo punto proseguiamo. Vediamo che succede.
Don't stay outside for too long here at night.
Sì, hai ragione, fa freddino effettivamente. Abbiamo detto che fa meno 180 gradi. Porca miseria. Eccoci qua. Che poi praticamente seconda casa sarebbe nuova casa. Seconda casa. Io che vestito c'ho addosso? Quello elegante per la persuasione. Va bene. Ah, di qua.
That old Titan wind is going strong today. Oh, hello there. Are you here about the brownouts? That's usually the only reason people come up here to talk to me, since I'm the power system manager here.
Sei tu la responsabile dell'energia elettrica qui? Chissà che tensione! L'hai capita?
Oh. Yep, I get it all right. Yes, I'm in charge of the electrical power here. We generate a lot of wind-based power here on Titan, which is my specialty, so I was tapped to help navigate all the unique challenges we face here. Shocking, I know.
Di che cali di tensione parli?
Yes, the power shortages we're experiencing. Haven't you seen the flickering lights? This equipment is all very old, and the protections against the cold have worn down, so now, brownouts, all the time. And I get to deal with it. Hooray for me.
Beh, non sapevo nulla, ma da come ne parli si direbbe che sia un problema serio.
You have no idea. Worse, I'm stuck up here overseeing the whole system, and we don't currently have anyone available to go out there and take care of the problem.
Ehi, forse posso fare qualcosa per risolvere il problema. Intendo dei cali di tensione.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'm a little new to the job, and I'll admit I'm struggling a little bit. I could use some help.
Qual è il tuo problema?
So I really want to impress everyone and show them I can handle this. But the power equipment is ancient and in need of replacement, if I'm being honest. We just don't have the money in the budget right now to do it. The previous technician was adamant that it was better to repair than replace. So he never submitted any replacement plans for budget considerations. We have to wait for next year.
Dimmi solo di cosa hai bisogno.
I could use someone who's handy with a laser cutter to break up the ice that's formed on some of the power system machinery out there. That should clear up the shorts we've been experiencing and stop the brownouts. Does that sound like something you can do?
Ehi, cara. Certo, nessun problema. Avendo già lavorato in miniera, so come si usano i recisori.
Oh, thank you. I guess I'm lucky you showed up then. Just be careful not to hurt yourself or the equipment. I'll continue to monitor things from here.
Va bene, va bene. Prendiamo la missione perché... Ma perché me la cambia? Cali di tensione. Ok, andiamo ad eliminare i depositi di ghiaccio e già che ci siamo facciamo... Andiamo Andreja! Facciamo anche un poco di esplorazione.
Enjoy our visit here.
E qui l'uscita, sì, sì. Dunque, diamoci da fare. Allora, sembra che il problema sia qui. E infatti questa pala eolica non va. Si vola. Eccoci. Questo cos'è? Acqua. Ok, andiamo su. E infatti è acqua. Facilissimo. Andiamo al prossimo. Un po' disabitato come posto questo. Piombo l'abbiamo preso. Via, 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 via. Allora, l'ingresso è qui. Eccoli qua. Piombo. Anche questo è andato. Andiamo al prossimo. Oh, missione complicata questa, eh? Wow. Wow. Dai che ti sistemiamo. Vai, vai, a tutta birra.
Careful not to point that thing at me.
Ma se ti metti davanti... Dove sei? Bah. Non ti vedevo nemmeno. Ok. Eccoci qua. Wow. Wow. Finito. Dove si esce? Torniamo da Joyce. Carino visto da quassù. Certo, niente come il mio attico, ovviamente. Ciao Joyce! Non ti aspettavi inizi da sopra, eh? Ah, ma non si può andare. Aspetta, vedete qua? No, decisamente non si può. Volevo farle una sorpresa da... da sopra, ma niente, non si può. Va bene. Vai, scendiamo con calma, piano piano. Dove sei? Ecco qua. Entriamo.
Hello.
Hello. Andiamo, Andreja. Eccomi qua, tutto a posto.
How's it going out there with the ice?
Da dove viene l'energia elettrica usata da qui a Seconda Casa?
Did you see those huge wind turbines out there on your way in? They're our primary source of power generation. Titan's strong winds provide an almost constant source of power, as long as we can keep the machinery from icing over.
Com'è lavorare sulla superficie di Titano?
Well, I just started this job a few months ago, but I'm loving it, despite all the small frustrations of working on ancient equipment. I came here as a child and did one of the tours. I loved it so much, I jumped at the chance to come back after finishing my studies in energy science. I know it may sound unusual, but I knew what I was getting into with Titan's harsh surface. The challenge is actually one of the things that attracted me to the job.
Quindi tu non sei di Seconda Casa?
No, New Atlantis, born and raised.
Oh.
It's okay though. I've always liked this quaint little moon. Not that it's actually that little as far as moons go. The people here were a little wary of someone coming in from the outside, but once I changed my name in accordance with their local customs, it went a long way to build trust. And that was fine by me. I feel proud, taking on the name of the Earth City my family came from many, many years ago.
Comunque, ho eliminato il ghiaccio.
Good work. I should be able to take it from here. Thanks. I hope this lasts a little longer than last time.
Revisione, equipaggiamento. Ma io questa roba la posso prendere o la rubo? No, alcune cose le rubo, quindi io questa in teoria la posso prendere. Le turbine eoliche continuano a congelarsi, sono quelle originali visto che qui siamo a Seconda Casa, eccetera. Mi sembra appropriato lasciarle così. La mia raccomandazione è di continuare con le riparazioni e sostituirle perché prudente, sarebbe costoso e ridurrebbe il fascino tradizionale di Seconda Casa. Pertanto eviterò di inviare una proposta a chi di dovere a partimento. Certo, mi sembra giusto. Mi guardate così e mi mettete a disagio, su. Allora, vediamo se c'è qualcosa di interessante da queste parti. Credo di no. Anche perché non ho voglia di rubare nulla, quindi possiamo andare. Seconda casa.
I don't mind the tourists. They help the local economy.
Ok, qua non si può entrare.
My papa doesn't really like me talking to the tourists.
Bello.
How else am I going to...
Un po' meno bello. Ah, questa è tutta una serra. Carina.
Hi there. Always nice seeing a new face.
Grazie.
The elders say that preserving our tradition is so important, but I keep hearing such wonderful things about other locals.
Carina questa cosa. Invece sotto che cosa c'è? Ah, qua c'è Chunks, dove siamo andati l'altra volta. A proposito, gli devo consegnare la cosa a questo. Allora. Ah, infatti, salsa... Ecco qua, salsa speciale. Dobbiamo andare ad Aquila City, vedi, mi hai fatto ricordare. Ok, ora vado, Poi vengo da te. Questa cos'è? Una specie di mensa? Che ci fa questo cosa? Ah, no, è una...
To lay
un
eyes
museo.
on the earth just once.
Pensa. Questo dovrebbe un lettore CD tipo.
We live a simple life on New Homestead. But
Un
make
Mac.
no mistake, it's fulfilling.
Non poteva mancare il Mac, ovviamente.
Did you know the museum here is full of old Earth artifacts? Cool, huh?
There are times I envy
Pensa,
those who
pallina
are
da
able to
baseball.
travel like you.
Da basket, c'è il pallone di calcio.
It's so cold here. I guess I should have expected that.
Ci credo.
Word of advice, steer clear of the doctor here. She really seems to have a problem with tourists for some reason.
Immagino. Parla con Giuliana. E adesso chi è Giuliana?
People here live a simple life.
Voglio prima vedere il resto del museo. Le barche a vela, tutta la barca. Oh, che figata.
I can imagine living here.
Why, hello there! I'm Bill Starsap of Starsap Tours. Let me tell you, this place is full of history and interesting facts. For instance, did you know that New Homestead was one of the first colonies established outside of Earth? It's been
Davvero?
populated in some capacity for over 200 years.
Caspita, incredibile, non ne avevo idea.
Yes, sirree, and that's not science fiction, it's science fact. There's a lot more history where that came from. So what do you say? I've got an opening. I could take you on a tour right now if you'd like.
Perché fare un tour di Seconda Casa?
Why would I want a tour of New Homestead, he says. Well, let me tell you, New Homestead is living history. These people are direct descendants of some of the first settlers to leave Earth. If you've ever wanted to know what that early colonial life was like, this is your chance to embark on a fun-filled exhibition unlike any other.
Capisco. E cosa mi consigli di vedere mentre sono qui o di evitare?
Definitely check out the Brown Horse Tavern. Good food, great atmosphere. Avoid spending too much time outdoors. It's freezing out there. Any more than that, and well, I'd be giving away the tour for free.
Ho capito, va bene, dai. Facciamo il tour, dai.
Excellent! You won't regret it. My tours are one of a kind. Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a genuine Starsap tour is only 100 credits.
Cosa? Mi piacerebbe, ma speravo costasse di meno.
Well, 100 credits is very reasonable, I think.
Non credo, è come se mi avessi buttato un'esca.
I assure you it wasn't intentional. I really should have been upfront about the price. I thought maybe you saw one of the flyers. Maybe I could do something for you.
So che mi aiuteresti se potessi.
I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here.
Questa storia mi ha ricordato una barzelletta che ho sentito l'altro giorno.
You know what? I may be starting to like you. Tell you what, I like you. This one's on the house, but if you enjoyed the tour, I'd really appreciate if you'd tell all your friends about me when it's done. So let's get this show on the road, eh? Alright, so this is New Homestead's main concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost, Titan Astro Base, was finished in 2130. Follow me. We'll come back here by the end of the tour and talk about the museum collection. But
This
first,
colony is a lot
let's go
smaller
see
than
where
I
people
thought it
live. Now remember, these people aren't actors. They actually live here, so try to be respectful of that. While the original inhabitants of the Titan Astro Base lived in pods like you saw up above, they transitioned down here when this section of the base was finished in 2144. Space is extremely limited, so you'll notice some overflow here, but more residences also exist on lower levels, which are inaccessible to tours. I'll stop at each of our destinations if you want to look around, or if you have any questions for me.
You'll never catch me.
Arrivo,
If you need medical attention, see Dr. Lakota. But a word of warning, she really doesn't care for tourists.
Forse era quella che dovevo andare a parlare. Cioè, questi vivono in questa specie di magazzino.
Have any questions so far?
Quante persone vivono qui?
I'm not sure the exact count, but New Homestead is a fairly small colony. What you see is what you get for the most part, except for some other people who live in the private lower levels. Some, particularly security, and yours truly, even commute from other worlds.
Addirittura. E puoi dirmi qualcosa di più su come viveva la gente qui prima che tutto ciò fosse costruito?
The original Titan Astro Base had more habitation pods on the surface connected to some of the old structures you may have seen in the back. As the colony grew, the base was expanded underground, and those hab units were recycled into materials used down here.
Beh, l'accampamento temporaneo sembra un gusto. Come mai?
Sadly, it's difficult to get additional construction done inside these underground caverns. So for now, additional populations are housed in these stacks of old shipping crates. As you might expect, this is where some of the less wealthy can afford to live. It's not glamorous, but they are functional and cozy.
D'accordo, possiamo proseguire.
Alrighty. We'll be taking the residential elevator to the farms area on the surface level. This way, please. Let's leave these good people alone for now and go check out the farms. Follow me up the elevator.
Welcome to New Homestead.
Grazie. Ah, c'era una suite. Vabbè, dopo ci diamo un'occhiata. Ma qua è dove stavamo prima.
It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life was like.
New
Maybe it's just
Homestead's
how we live.
farms are the beating heart of the colony. Without them, the original outpost would have shriveled and died. These pods are sealed and climate controlled, the perfect environment for growing the hydroponic vegetation needed for survival in the early days of the colony.
Io che credevo fosse una serra.
You know we can't afford to leave the farm.
Any questions about the farms?
Cosa ha di diverso questo posto rispetto a tutti gli altri?
Good question. It's largely the same, because this was the colony that pioneered the techniques you see elsewhere. But you'll notice that the farms here are smaller and staffed by humans, not robots. Things here are a little more old-fashioned compared to some of the large factory farms you'll find elsewhere in the settled systems.
E cos'è che coltivano qui?
These days, it's a mix of what you find elsewhere in the galaxy, but in the olden days, it was all brought over from Earth. It was a lot of hardy root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, beets, and such, supplemented with corn, peas, green beans, soy, etc., which didn't always grow as well.
E le fattorie sono ancora operative.
Oh, they are indeed. Colonists still cultivate plant-based food for their own consumption here in New Homestead. It's less vital to their survival these days, as they also import supplemental food from other colonies, including meats, dairy, and synthetics. However, most citizens here take pride in a New Homestead-grown, sustainable diet.
Ok, possiamo proseguire, grazie.
Onward it is! We'll be stopping by the Brown Horse Tavern later in the tour, which uses many of these locally sourced ingredients in their cooking. But for now, it's just a short way to our next stop. Follow me! So, the old biolabs are just on the other side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway there. They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the Titan astrobase. Sadly, they're undergoing some light renovation. Otherwise, there'd be interactive activities for kids to learn about how they used to search for microbial life here.
You get used to the methane processing smell after a while.
Capisco. Andiamo bene.
Feel free to look around, but don't touch.
Tranquillo.
Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan astrobase biolabs.
Continui a parlare dell'astrobase Titano. Di che si tratta?
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot to mention that. That's what this place was originally called. When NASA divested its interest in the astrobase and turned it over to the people back in 2185, they renamed it New Homestead and established it as a historical site.
Capito. E che genere di vita conducevano qui?
Funny you should ask! Sadly, none. See, NASA funded the Titan astrobase project because conditions seemed ripe for primordial life to form in Titan's methane pools. They tested many different sites, performed deep core ice drilling, and more, yet nothing turned up.
Finì lì? Come furono utilizzati questi laboratori una volta soldato che, insomma, non c'erano forme di vita?
Well, NASA defunded the xenobiology program in 2132, but a scientist by the name of Catherine Neely proposed research into advanced colony building on inhospitable worlds. So, by 2135, work began on what would ultimately set us all up to create habitats anywhere humans dared to explore. These very labs housed the computer systems used in that research. That and general storage for the colony. Lots of storage.
E vorrei dare un'occhiata in giro.
Sure thing. Keep in mind the Biolabs exhibit is closed for visitors, but I'll be waiting if you need a minute anyway.
Perfetto. Vedi? Una guida su come vivono qui.
Living history exhibit, but these are real people, so please be kind to them.
Qua non possiamo fare nulla. Scotch no. Ok. Vuoto. 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 Ah, quella c'è da mangiare, però mi sa che è da rubare. Quindi meglio di no. E infatti. Snack alle alghe, sarebbe da provare. Va bene.
Did you see those wind turbines out there? Wow.
Bello, bellissimo le turbine, effettivamente meraviglioso. Andiamo sotto, che cosa c'è? Ah, è chiuso. Si esce fuori. Va
We
bene.
take vandalism seriously here. You don't
No, no, per carità.
Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase Biolabs.
Va bene, possiamo procedere.
You got it. On to our next stop. Next, we'll be heading outside, so make sure to check those seals on your suit because it's a bit chilly out there.
We used to
Going out into the frozen wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet. Watch your step outside, by the way. The ice can be slippery if you're not careful. The goal is to keep people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary.
Capisco. Amo, ci sei?
Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. Powering new homestead. As you might imagine, generating energy was a real challenge back in the day because the technology was much more crude then. But crude or not, it was that technology that sustained the old Astro base. And it might surprise you to learn that the same technology is still working today. The interesting thing about this old colony is that it's mostly powered by clean, renewable energy. You'll see one of the methods used on the horizon up ahead. That's right, New Homestead's famous wind farms. This spot was chosen for the colony in part because of its constant winds. These turbines have been integral to the colony's function since its establishment as a cheap, mostly reliable source of electricity. So, let's talk about wind power, shall we?
Non pensavo che Titano fosse così ventoso.
You're right. Most surface wind on Titan isn't too terribly strong, but here, the altitude and other conditions are perfect for sustained wind power. Like many worlds with atmosphere, the higher you go, the windier it gets.
E cosa c'è di interessante nell'energia eolica? Perché fa parte del tour?
You're looking at a piece of history! Sure, wind power is used throughout the galaxy, but these people were able to make do with it for hundreds of years! It's impressive that was all they had back then, and still make it work to this day!
Mi ricordi Stan. Comunque. Davvero queste turbine forniscono l'energia all'intera colonia?
Mostly. I'm sure you've noticed the occasional brownouts. I guess these old machines have a habit of freezing up, what with all the ice out here. There's some methane on reserve for critical life support systems, but everything else here is otherwise powered by the units you see here.
Ok. Possiamo proseguire.
You're the boss. Let's go! Moving right along, we're going to learn about Titan's great
Stai
natural
così. Non hai
resources.
freddo, tesoro?
Titan is rich with hydrocarbons like methane and ethane. Surely you saw huge pools of the stuff on your descent into New Homestead. I like to think they add to the natural beauty of this world. Though, of course, stay away from them because, like anything beautiful, they can be dangerous. Just like my last ex-wife's pet. She had this gorgeous, I don't know what you'd call it, creature. The guy that sold it to her couldn't tell her what it was or where it was from. I don't think it was even a legal sell, to be honest. The thing was very easy on the eyes. Feathers, all the colors of the rainbow. Nasty bite, though. Wound up in the hospital and almost lost my hand. Still not enough for her to get rid of the dang thing. Anyway, there's a reason she's my ex-wife. But enough about me. We were talking about methane and other resources, right?
Guarda quante ce ne stanno, ma...
Hey, can you believe it? Back in the 20th century on Earth, they used to fight wars over natural resources like this and petroleum. They had this whole moon here basically made of hydrocarbons in their own backyard. They just couldn't get to it. Incredible how far we've come. New Homestead is home to one of the oldest and largest methane processing plants in the settled system.
Caspita.
Every year, UC engineers go through a painstaking, month-long maintenance process. It's how this place has remained operational as long as it has. I'm not going to take you too close to the machinery, liability and all, but I can still answer questions.
Quindi c'è del metano qua.
Questions? Fire away!
Come possono chiudere l'impianto per la manutenzione se è indispensabile per sopravvivere?
Yeah, it's not as if they shut down for a month. It's not shut down at all, actually. See, this place is built with redundant systems, so they can shut it down piece by piece and suffer only a reduction in throughput. During that time, the UC gets more of its resources from other places, allowing New Homestead to maintain what it needs.
Ciao Luzuki, stiamo visitando Titano. Non so se tu l'avevi già fatta questa visita. Allora, e cosa se ne fanno di tutto questo metano?
Exports mostly, since this world is so methane rich and has the infrastructure for it, a lot of the UC's methane comes from Titan. Of course, new homesteaders use it themselves for everything from generating heat to turning it into breathable oxygen by a modern science.
Un momento, come fanno a trasformare il metano in ossigeno?
Oh, no one's ever asked me that before. Something to do with methane-eating microbes, I believe? I honestly don't know. Sorry.
Che guida. Vabbè, d'accordo, non ho altre domande.
Okie dokie, artichoke. There will be time for more later anyway. So, this next stop is a bit of an interesting one. I only recently made it part of the tour. Fun fact, it's also the only natural landmark on the tour.
Beh, sembra molto interessante. Più che altro non so se tu hai giocato alla saga di Monkey Island, ma questo tizio qui davanti mi sembra Stan. Parla. E poi le cose più importanti non le conosci. No, ero qui in Titano a visitarlo e ho trovato il museo. Tra l'altro c'è anche la videocassetta, il Mac, tante cose. E poi c'era questo tizio che vendeva questi tour. Ho detto, facciamoci il tour e vediamo di che si tratta. È sotto, all'interno di New Homestead, vai sotto e c'è il museo e c'è lui.
This planet's full of them, though, and they like to preserve that history here.
Sì, da quando mi ha visto. Allora, sentiamo che ha da dire.
So here it is, Ymir's horn. You're free to take a closer look if you like.
Ymir? E chi è?
According to ancient Norse mythology, Ymir was the first Jotun, a frost giant. In the legend, they were both male and female and gave birth to the progenitors of all giants from their armpits. Ymir even predated the Norse gods, who, as it turns out, killed Ymir to fashion the earth and all of humanity from the corpse. It's a fascinating story, and the horn here is a fitting tribute to it.
No, se tu vedi le puntate su YouTube, questa è la prima. È tutta la storia, che alterno le missioni alla visita, all'esplorazione, alla costruzione. È come se fosse una fiction, capito? E come si è fermato questo Collis?
I've heard this particular formation was caused by an ancient volcano. Something about steam and wind, then worn down over time. But I'm not 100% sure.
Ho capito. Qui ho finito, grazie.
Excellent. On to the next stop then. So, we're gonna head back inside through the methane processing plant. Try not to touch anything on your way. We want to make sure to respect Dr. Lakota's wishes to be safer around here. Oh, that brings me to another point. You'll notice the people around here have last names related to where their families originated from on Earth, as a way to remember the past.
Davvero?
The museum curator, Maurice Leon, has more information about that if you're interested. You can find him inside the main concourse. Loves talking about it. You'll find most of the locals here are very friendly to tourists like yourself. Tourism is a major draw to this colony these days, and I respect that. Most of them are happy to talk at length about what they do here. Their rugged lifestyle is a point of pride for a lot of these folks.
Bisogna entrare? Credo di sì. Vieni, Andreja. Spicciati, che dobbiamo fare?
This area we're walking through is the nerve center of the plant, where technicians keep an eye on the operation. Since methane production is such an important part of the colony's livelihood, it's important that the techs notice any issues and react to them quickly. Anyway, we're headed into the ice mines. It's a natural spring where water bubbles up from deep below, but due to the cold, it keeps freezing as it reaches the surface.
Aluzuki, guarda che sia quella del miglio rosso che del mantide sono entrambe due capitoli su YouTube, quindi magari se ci vai a dare un'occhiata, magari becchi dove le ho trovate io. Vabbè, la mantide hai detto che l'hai finita. E anche il miglio rosso è sotto al pozzo, c'è un tizio che ti fa partire quella missione. È una delle prime. Devi vedere il titolo, è qualcosa che riguarda la visita del pozzo. È una delle prime comunque. Brrr, che freddo. Allora, sta qui, ok. No, il canale su YouTube si chiama proprio Gamefiction Show. Questo si chiama Luca B Show perché ci faccio anche party beat, perché sono un DJ, quindi lo uso per varie cose, non potendo fare più canali come su YouTube. Invece su YouTube si chiama Gamefiction Show tutto attaccato. E c'è proprio la playlist dei Starfield e lì trovi tutte le puntate che mano a mano carico. Qui le registro e poi le metto lì.
What else can I tell you about the ice mines?
Vediamo un po'. Ho sete, posso bere direttamente dalla fonte?
I wouldn't recommend it. First, it's an active work site. Second, it still needs to be filtered and checked for contaminants. But don't worry, we'll stop somewhere for refreshments before the tour is over.
E perché quest'area non viene riscaldata come il resto della colonia?
Good question. I believe it has something to do with not wanting to contaminate the water with methane and other chemicals. The ice helps prevent impurities in the water. At least this is what I've been told.
Certo. E quindi è da qui che viene tutta l'acqua di Seconda Casa?
Not all. Some water is created as a byproduct of methane processing, but that's usually saved in the emergency reserves.
Beh, vorrei dare un'occhiata in giro.
Of course. Watch your step. It can get slick around here. I'll stay behind.
Ciao, compare. Oh, dell'acqua. Vediamo se... No,
I
aspetta.
find myself suddenly very grateful for our accommodations in the lodge.
E questo cosa c'entra con questo, Andreja?
Blowing off some steam?
Mi ha aggiunto l'acqua. Per la prima volta. Allora, acqua qui. Pure.
What else can I tell you about the ice mines?
In realtà non ho altre curiosità sulle miniere di ghiaccio. Possiamo anche andare.
Sounds good. Let's keep going then. We have just one more stop before we're done with the tour, and it just happens to be my favorite.
Immagino.
This colony is home to the longest running establishment still in existence, the Brown Horse Tavern. The Brown Horse started as a simple mess hall for the scientists and workers when the underground was built, but it's been operated by the same family ever since. Now, what's a horse, you might say? They were a large four-legged animal on Earth, often used for transportation or manual labor. Long before space travel was even a dream for the folks of Earth, even before antique machines like automobiles were possible, horses could be found everywhere. You might have seen them in old movies or read about them somewhere. If not, I highly recommend looking into them sometime. They're beautiful animals. The tavern's original owner was infatuated with them, from what I understand, and named the place in their honor. The moniker, Brown Horse Tavern, is also a throwback to names of similar Earth restaurants hundreds of years before it was established.
Infatti lo noto.
Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime.
Carino. Proprio.
That delicious smell is making me hungry. Can I answer anything about the Brown Horse?
Chi è il proprietario del ristorante?
Anya Seattle is the current owner of the Brown Horse. It's been in the Seattle family for generations. But Anya will be able to tell you more herself. Feel free to ask her. It Doesn't feel right coming from me when she's standing right over there.
Giusto. E qualche consiglio sul menù?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I honestly love everything Anya serves here. I'd be doing her a disservice to recommend one dish over another. You want the real answer? Order one of everything.
Che simpatico. Oh my gosh, come può essere il più antico ristorante di tutti i sistemi colonizzati?
Easy. All the other ones fell to ruin when we abandoned Earth. There were technically older ones on Mars, but those have long since shuttered or been replaced.
Un attimo, arrivo subito.
Oh yeah, by all means. Stop in for a moment.
Welcome to the Brown Horse.
Ciao, cara.
Welcome. I'm Anya. Is this your first time with us at the Brown Horse Tavern?
In realtà vengo qui abitualmente, è incredibile come tu non mi riconosca.
Okay. Really? I know all my regulars, and I'm pretty sure you're not one of them. It's okay. There's nothing to be embarrassed about if you've never been here before. We've got an assortment of food and drinks, some of which follow homemade recipes that have been passed down over hundreds of years. So, what can I do for you?
Qua ci andrebbe a vedere proprio la carbonara come la fanno. Ho visto un chunks prima. Per caso è dannoso per i tuoi affari?
Oh, hardly. The locals pretty much stay away from chunks, so whenever they don't feel like cooking themselves and want a fresh meal, they come to me. Only the tourists eat that junk. But don't tell that to my husband. He manages the chunks. I love him, but he's a bit of a fanatic about it.
E invece raccontami di questo posto.
You mean the Brown Horse? Well, it's only the longest continuous running restaurant since humans started settling outside of Earth. There's a lot of history within these walls. And some damn fine food and drink, if I say so myself. This place has been in my family for generations. My however many great-grandmother opened it when the first colony started on Titan. Back then, it was a simple mess hall that she chose to put a little extra love and flavor into. And now, it's the pride of New Homestead.
Vorrei dare un'occhiata al menù, per favore.
Let me show you what we have.
Allora, vediamo che cosa c'hanno. Più o meno sempre le stesse cose. Il Kifler. No, l'Erdebrau. Pieroggi con patate e formaggio, sbollentati e fritti. Pieroggi, che cazzo sono i pieroggi? Ok, non c'hai molto da vendere, però magari c'hai qualcosa di buono? Vediamo, allora possiamo vendere... che cazzo ci vendiamo? Questa roba mi serve per cucinare. Ah sì, Violet, i Velocity, scusa. Vendi. Ecco, finalmente me ne libero, Perfetto. Ok. A qualcosa si è servita. Che ho lasciato 28 crediti in tutto. Grazie.
So long. Tell your friends about us.
That delicious smell is making me hungry. Can I answer anything about the Brown Horse?
Credo di aver finito qui.
Okay then. All right, we're headed to the last stop, right back where we began. Feel free to check out the museum exhibit in the main concourse here. These displays are full of rare Earth trinkets salvaged from before humanity left, and Maurice is happy to talk about the collection. The museum's curator, Maurice, will be happy to talk to you if you want to know more. Well, that's that! I hope you enjoyed Starsap Tours as much as I enjoy giving them.
È stato molto istruttivo. Grazie.
You're welcome, and thank you for coming along. Remember to tell your friends all about it. Take care!
Beh, per fare sto giretto mi ha dato 200 punti spezia. Ci sta. Comunque, no, dicevo, è molto interessante queste cose che ci sono nelle teche.
It's been a while since I last visited. Nice to see this place still has the same charm.
I was hoping you could tell me some more about this exchange.
Cosa pensi della nostra relazione?
I am happier than I can ever recall being. I believe that is largely thanks to you.
Mi piace sentirtelo dire ogni tanto.
Then I shall be sure to say it more often.
Andiamo.
Thank you for the conversation and everything.